Hello my loves, and thank you once again for joining me. So today I'm doing just a strictly lash video. I get so many questions from you guys asking about lash application. Even though I don't apply false lashes very often, I'm sort of obsessed with this combo. It's a strip lash and individual lash combo that I'm gonna of course show you how I did, but this was a good opportunity to show you guys how to apply strip lashes as well as individual lashes. And of course this is just the way I do it. This isn't like the universal way to do it. Different people have different methods, and this is the technique that has worked out really well for me and I find to be really easy. So if you want to find out how to get these beautiful, long, voluminous lashes, keep watching. Okay, so I've already got my eyeshadow and eyeliner on. I just did a really neutral, very soft eyeshadow look just because I want the lashes to be the star of this whole look. I want them to really stand out, so I've put on a very fine little tiny winged eyeliner and just really neutral shadows. So the first thing I'm going to start out with, of course, is my mascara. So I'm just going to give it a nice healthy coat. I won't give it more than one coat just because since I'm going to layer on false lashes anyway, it really doesn't matter how long or full my natural lashes are. So all I'm really doing is darkening them up and making them stand up nice and tall. And of course this is a very dramatic lash look, so I'm going to hit those bottom lashes as well. Just kind of wiggle that wand through them. I always have this issue of smiling after I've put on my mascara on the bottom lashes and then the mascara gets on my cheeks, so kind of want them to dry out before I move on. Now moving into the actual false lashes, I'm going to be using the Ardell Demi style. These are the number 120. These are probably my favorite lashes by Ardell just because they are both natural looking but also still a little bit on the dramatic side. So I personally like to have most of the drama and the length and all of that toward the center, so I don't like them to be super wide, the strips, just because then it widens the eye. I just like to make the eye look nice and, you know, wide open and awake. So for that to happen, I am going to first measure out my strip lash here. Just going to put it onto my eye and just kind of have a look at it. You know what? I'm actually not going to cut these. Usually lashes end up being way too long this way, like width-wise, and they end up bugging my eye like at the inner corner, or they make the eye look turned down because they go all the way out to the edge. So these are actually a really nice length, so I'm just going to leave them as is. And I'm using the Duo Dark Tone Adhesive because this dries to a dark tone as opposed to just like a clear one. I usually just use the tray that the lashes come with and I'll just put my glue right there. And then I'll just take the back of a brush and dip into the glue and put the tiniest amount of lash adhesive on there. You do not need very much glue. In fact, the more glue you use, the less it's actually going to stick. So the less glue you use, it's really going to stick. You'd be surprised how well the lashes adhere with just a little tiny strip of glue. So the way I do this is I look at myself in the mirror, tilt my head back just a little bit, and start to lower the lashes down. And first I'll secure it right in the center. And you can feel where the glue hits your skin. It's kind of wet. And then I'll go in and sort of anchor the outer corner and the inner corner. And again, I felt exactly where the glue hit my skin. You feel that wetness, so you know you've placed it correctly. And that's really it for the strip lash. Like I said, lowering it in the center and first anchoring it there. That's like your anchor point. And then going in and securing it at the outer end and the inner corner. And like I said, using less glue is just gonna make them stick on better. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply the adhesive to the other lash. And people have asked me why I don't apply lashes with my eyes closed. And for me, first of all, it's easier to do it with my eyes open, and also your eye is kind of a different shape when it's closed as opposed to when it's open. So I feel like it would kind of alter the, I just feel like it wouldn't be comfortable at all. So I've personally never put on lashes with my eyes closed. I've always, again, lowered it onto my lash line, secure it in the center, make sure you've got it on the proper spot, and then go in and secure the end and then the inner corner. And sometimes it helps to tilt your face away to really get into that inner corner. And if you have to blink, just take your hand off for a second, blink, and then go back to it. There we go. Sometimes I think people also psych themselves out with false lash application. It's really not that difficult, but I guess if you don't really know how to do it, it can be intimidating, but if you, I don't know, if this technique works for you, that's fantastic. I personally think it's the easiest way to do it, because also you're seeing exactly where it's gonna go, as opposed to closing your eye, putting it on, and then opening it and realizing you've put it on in the wrong spot, you don't really like it, let's rip it off and try it again. So it's kind of a nightmare to do it that way. This way it just ends up exactly where you want it. One more thing you wanna be sure of that you're not doing is make sure you're not putting the lashes on to your lashes, your natural lashes. Put it onto the skin as close as possible to your lash line. That's why I said you feel the wetness of the glue on your skin. That's exactly where you want it. You know you've put it on the right spot if you feel that wetness. Otherwise, if you put it on your lashes, it's gonna end up ripping them out when you take them off, so be very careful about that. All right, so this looks great. I love the look of it. But I'm gonna take it one step further. I just wanted super mega dramatic lashes. This is a little more still on the natural looking side. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm not sure if I'll use these guys, but I'm definitely gonna use these guys. These are the Ardell, both of these are the Ardell Knot Free individual lashes. Knot free meaning K-N-O-T, not that they're not free, you have to pay for them. Just want to clarify that. So knot free means that it doesn't have that little ball at the end where, you know, you put the glue and attach it to your lash line, and that just makes it look more natural. You don't really, it's like very seamless. You don't see where the individual lash is placed. So these are my favorite. I use them all the time, but this time I thought, hey, why don't we put on the strip lash and then put these on over them to create a totally unique look however you want it. So you can control how much volume you get, how much length you get. So I'm gonna show you how I apply these. Now I've already got my glue on the last tray, so I don't need to do that over again. I'm gonna take these tweezers. These are a pair that I use specifically for applying false lashes. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in, see which way do I apply, this way. So you have to make sure you know which way the tweezer is going to, which direction it's going to go down toward your lashes, and pick up the individual lash accordingly. So here we go. I'm going to take a piece, just like that, and then I'm just going to dip it into the glue very lightly. We just want a tiny bit at the tip of it. Now you guys can't probably see that, it's so small, but I'm just going to anchor my finger against my forehead and then just lower it. And it's just gonna fall right onto that strip lash. So the reason I anchor my hand somewhere on my face is because if you're just gonna come in like with your hand in the air, it's gonna start to shake because you're concentrating. So always anchor your finger somewhere on your face. So again, I'm gonna pick off a piece, dip it into the glue, and again, anchor my hand, and then slowly lower it onto my lashes. And the important thing here is to make sure you don't get any glue onto the tweezers, because then the individual lashes are going to stick to the tweezers and not your lashes. So it's a lot of precision work here, but the more you practice this, the easier it'll be. So again, grab another piece. And like I said, you can control how far you're going to go with this, really. I like to get a little bit more volume and length right here in the inner part. So I'm going to add a little bit more there. Anchor and lower. The inner corners and the outer corners always. tend to be the most difficult because you always want to make it look seamless, and you don't want it to just be skin, lash, like really long. You want it to, you know, taper in and taper, no, not at the end, but you do want it to fade in the inner corner. So once again, added the glue, and then I'm just gonna slowly lower it onto. So each time I add one, of course, I'm gonna hold up my mirror and kind of give it a look, see if I like it, see if there are any very obviously open spots, and then I can add more or I can leave it alone and move on to the next one. And now I have to warn you, I'm left-handed, so it was easy for me to do it on my left eye, so getting over to my right eye is a little bit more of a challenge, so unless you're ambidextrous, you might run into the same problem. So let's attempt this. Again, I'm gonna grab a piece, dip it into that glue, just the tiniest little amount, and then going in, anchoring my hand, and dropping that onto the strip. So you're just adding a little bit more volume. As far as length goes, it's really only adding length at the middle and the inner part of the lash line, but otherwise it's mostly adding volume. And then again, anchoring my hand and lowering that piece. Ooh, see, that didn't work. All right. So I'm looking at myself in the mirror sort of like this, like I'm just tilting my head back so that my eye is still open and I can see, but I'm sort of getting a nice view of my lash line as well. So I'm gonna finish this off. Here's where it gets really tricky with the opposite hand, opposite eye, is getting that outer corner. Eee! We're gonna go with that. So there it is. This is just my way of applying false lashes. I showed you how I apply strip lashes as well as individual lashes. I sort of did a combo, but of course you can do each of them separately. You don't have to do both. You can do just the strip on its own, or you can throw on some mascara and then go in for just the individuals just to give it a little bit of an enhanced look. So I hope this is helpful for you guys. If you have any other questions about false lash application, make sure you leave them down in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and once again, I'm so grateful that you watched my video. Thank you so much. I love you, and I'll see you next time.